What's up everyone, welcome back to the shop. Fall and Halloween are just around the corner, so let's do kind of a spooky scroll saw project. I sat down and sketched out a picture of the Batman villain Scarecrow. I like Scarecrow without his hat, because he just has a potato sack on his head. And if somebody ran up to me with just a potato sack on their head, it kind of freaked me out. I scanned my picture, uploaded it into Inkscape, and did some final modifications to get the picture just right. And now that it's all done, I can see that we're gonna have a lot of negative space, which means we need to have a lot of black. Well, I've got this beautiful piece of wenge here that's gonna look really cool. So our first step is to take this wenge and make some veneer. I made my wenge veneers, but I also made some poplar veneer because whenever you're doing lamination, you want to laminate both sides of your panel. That way it doesn't cup or anything, and that poplar will be good for just the back of the picture. You won't see that. So now I'm going to take this and glue this onto my MDF. This is a 1/2 inch thick piece of MDF, really flat, good stuff. Now I've been using this Unibond 1 for my laminations for a little bit, and I really like it. It's been good stuff. It dries hard. I haven't had any sort of cupping or any sort of issues like that, so I'm going to use that here. Put it on my veneer, stick it on my panel, put it in my press. This veneer press is amazing. It makes things so much easier than using like 1,000 clamps to try to do this. So I do have a video over on my main channel, Newton Makes. I will put a link down in the description if you want to make something like this yourself. While that's drying, I can work on my picture frame. I always like to make my own frames, so I grabbed a piece of maple and just cut off a big hunk of it. Now this requires a whole lot more milling than if I would have just bought maple boards, but I think it's worth it because I can pick and choose which portions I want. I was thinking this particular artwork would really benefit from a picture frame that has multiple layers and multiple colors. So the main part of the frame is going to be maple. But then I grabbed some canary wood and I'm going to use that to add a little bit of color, a little bit of contrast to this frame. This particular piece of canary wood has a beautiful green in it. I love the color. Unfortunately, as soon as I apply a finish to it, it's going to turn brown. So, you kind of lose that stunning effect, but I still think it's a really cool color and I think it's gonna look really good with this maple. I cut my maple pieces a little bit oversized, and then I also milled down the canary wood to about 1/8 of an inch thick. So now I've got these two and I can glue them together and give it that sandwich effect. And then also I'm gonna take another maple piece and cut it out into like a funky shape and put that on top of the green. So then you're gonna see the maple, you're gonna see the green, and then you're gonna see that cool maple again. I'm just going to use Titebond 3 to glue these together. And then I have this really cool little roller here that I got from Woodcraft. This thing's really handy. I use it for doing any sort of larger veneer work. So I use it all the time whenever I'm doing scroll saw stuff. And I have some MDF cawls that I put some packing tape on so the glue won't stick to it. And I'm going to use that to get really good pressure on this. I cut some thin maple pieces over at the table saw. Now these are going to be for that weird funky shape that's going to be on top of our picture frame. And then I printed out some templates that I made. So this is for the top of the frame. I've got some bottoms, I've got the side. So I'm going to take this and stick it onto these maple pieces. So I'm going to put down some contact paper and then use some spray adhesive to stick the template onto the board, cut it out over the scroll saw, and then take that shape and stick it onto our picture frame board. Scarecrow is primarily a bunch of different shades of brown, so I'm going to use a light background so that he stands out. So I took some maple boards and I glued them together and sanded down that panel to about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I've got my panel right here for the background. Then I printed out my picture. So it took 4 sheets of paper. So I'm going to take these and tape them together so I have a big picture and then stick it onto my panel. We're going to cut that out. I'm going to cut out the Scarecrow and leave all the background part, and then we'll glue that onto our wenge panel. I typically use Inkscape to make any of my patterns or templates. I do have a free tutorial on my website if you want to learn more about how to do this. What I like to do is take my big artwork and divide it up into pictures that would print on one sheet of paper. Then I could print all those pieces out, tape them together, and then use that as my large template to cut out my shape. In this case, I'm actually cutting out everything that is the Scarecrow and leaving all of the background, because that's really what I want, is the background. So think of this as basically making a giant silhouette. I got my silhouette cut out. Didn't really use a whole lot of that maple panel, huh? And now I'm going to glue this onto my wenge panel. So I'm just going to use some Titebond 3 with this. You know what? What I noticed is whenever I use regular Titebond to do this sort of application, I tend to get a little bit more cupping than if I use Titebond 3. So that's what I'm going to use. This is something that you do not want to drench in glue. Just enough glue to cover all of the surface area, no more. Because otherwise you get a ton of squeeze out and then you got to try to clean it up inside those little cutouts, and that's really tough. While that's drying, we can start working on making some of those other pieces we need to actually make Scarecrow. So I need to dig through all my wood and figure out a bunch of different shades of brown to, make up all of his parts. Unfortunately, I didn't have any walnut boards that would be the right size to make Scarecrow's head. So I had to grab a giant walnut slab and cut off a chunk of that, which makes for a lot of milling, having to cut it down into the pieces that I need. But hey, I can't really complain because, well, I actually have a walnut slab. I cut the Scarecrow picture to its final size so that it fits into the picture frame, and then I glued it in the frame, and that allows me to not have to reinforce the frame, and everything is going to be really strong. Now we get to actually cut out Scarecrow. So I printed out some pictures of him, and I've got my walnut board here. This is about 1/4 inch thick or so. Now, when I look at Scarecrow, I see that he's wearing this potato sack, and it looks like it's sewn together. So I imagine that the fabric is like flowing in different ways, right? Because it's all patched. So I'm going to try to do that with the grain as best I can. I'm going to try to put pieces on here, cut it one way, maybe rotate it, cut another piece out, and see if I can kind of give it a little bit of that semblance. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use a crown tooth blade. This is a new blade for me. I did a scroll saw blade shootout recently, tested different blades. The crown tooth blade performed really well, so I bought another one, a little bit bigger. Looking forward to trying this one out. Slowly but surely, Scarecrow's coming together. Now, here comes a little bit of a tricky part. So this is a mask that he's wearing, which means that his features, like his eyes, are kind of back sunken in, right? Well, to do that, I've got a piece of holly and I have a piece of walnut here. Now, these are substantially thinner than the mask part, his face here. So I'm going to make sure that these are sanded down so they're the same thickness, and then I'm going to stick them together. And then I can cut out his eyes all in one time. Then you take it apart, you'll have the white for his eyes and then the brown for his eyes, and then we can put it inside the eye holes in his mask. I got his eyeballs done. Now it's time to work on that mouth. Well, I'm looking at his mouth here and it's a bit tricky. We've got a ton of strings going back and forth, and that's what holds the mouth in place for his mask. And then you have his teeth that are in the background. Well, to get those strings to be more prominent, I milled up a piece of walnut. Now, this looks super light compared to the other walnut I was using, but it is walnut. This is just the sapwood of it. So I milled this down so it's a little bit thicker than his mask. That way it's a little bit more prominent. And I can always hit some sandpaper and sand down those strings to contour them if I think it's necessary. So I'm going to cut out all those strings out of this. put them in all those mouth grooves, and then work on cutting out all of these teeth to go into the background. Scarecrow's mouth was a bit time consuming. I just kind of took it one toothpick at a time. I would cut out one of the strings, fit it into place, cut out the second one, fit into place, and just so on until all of the threads for his mouth were done. Then I worked on fitting the teeth into place. Once his jacked up teeth were in there, then I worked on the neck. Now this is just walnut also, but it's a little bit thinner than the walnut that I used on the face, just to kind of give it a little bit of depth and relief. Scarecrow's looking pretty awesome. Just a couple more things to finish up on him before we move on to the next stages. So he has his mask pulled over his head, and then it kind of flails out because he has a rope tied around his neck. So I was trying to figure out how to make that rope. And what I came up with is some white oak, especially riffs on white oak where the grain is linear. I'm thinking that the grain is going to provide this really cool texture look and make the rope look more realistic. So I'm going to make the rope out of that, take the rest of my walnut, finish out his potato sack that flails out. Then after that, we start working on doing that fear toxin gas that's all around him. To give the white oak the illusion that it's rope, I cut halfway through the board, cut in little notches, and then I flip the board around and I cut notches on the other side. So it kind of gives the illusion that these are segments to the rope. It also allows me to glue the pieces in as one whole piece instead of having 1,000 little rope pieces. And then once that was done, I just went ahead and finished out his potato sack flailing area, which is also walnut. Glued those into place. I want Scarecrow to look like he's surrounded by gas. And if you don't know about Scarecrow, he uses fear toxin that makes everyone freak out. And that fear toxin is usually green. So I have here some lignum vitae. Now this is one of the hardest woods in the world. And a crown tooth blade just doesn't really work with this. So I'm gonna switch over to a reverse tooth blade. Just provides a little bit more clearance between the teeth so that you have more area for the sawdust to escape from it. So I'm going to start using this to cut out the shapes for my gas and see if I can, make it look a little bit fluid, like it's floating around him. I might throw in a little bit of this. This is canary wood that has a kind of a greenish tint to it. I'm not sure. I'm going to go just kind of one section at a time, and we'll see if I end up using this. Ooh, that was a lot of work, but I think it looks cool and all my pieces are finally cut out. So at this point, I need to do some cleanup work. So I just grabbed a little stick here, stuck some sandpaper to it. I can sand over some of the edges, do a little contouring, just some cleanup stuff before we apply finish to it. Now I could have sanded these pieces before I applied them, but I was kind of in the groove, just wanted to cut stuff. So I'm gonna do my cleanup work now. So after I get it all figured out, get everything sanded, then we can figure out what type of finish to apply. Looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. And finally, I get to apply finish to this thing. Okay, so for finish, I'm going to use some Armor Seal satin here. I've used this for several other projects. I really like it. Now, this is something that you could also use a spray finish to try to get in those nooks and crannies. Instead, I just prefer this and a little brush, and I can, get all in there. And then I'll take a rag to make sure I smooth everything out. I will admit, this project took way longer than I thought it would. I thought I would be able to knock this out pretty quick, but I guess I kind of underestimated the artwork that I drew and just how many lines and little cutouts there were. Just every once in a while, because this does take a long time, I don't want this to puddle. I will take a rag and just wipe off the excess before I move on to the rest of it. Well, that was a lot of fun. It's really awesome to be able to see something go from a concept on paper to actually seeing it in front of you. Scarecrow turned out pretty scary, and I really like that fear toxin in the background, especially that lignum vitae and that green. It just looks fantastic. And I really dig that picture frame with the wavy pattern on it that mimics the fear toxin. I think it's just the perfect complement to the artwork. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out this other video up here. You might really like that one too. Until we meet again, get in your shop and build something awesome.